The green paint on this truck is absolutely insane, and the detail on the body is fantastic. Guys, this is the Kyosho Tacoma on the KB10 chassis, and it's been out for a minute, but I'm really psyched to get my hands on one. It looks so cool, and there's no body clips anywhere on this. Well, there's body clips underneath, but not on top. They did an amazing job with this truck. In today's video, I'm gonna give you a closer look at the body. We'll go over the details of the chassis because it's different from the other KB10 out there, the Mad Wagon. This thing's brushless powered, so I bet you it's gonna rip. And I'm gonna take it out for some driving action so you can see how much fun this 4x4 ready to run truck is. Electric lime is the actual color of the body, and they also have a lunar rock, which is like a slight gray, I guess. But this, I think a lot of people are gonna get this one. It is absolutely vibrant. I love all the decal work. Everything is done from the factory for you. You take it out of the box just like this. Molded front grille, the molded front bumper panel, even the lower vent is molded, and then they use the clear Lexan from the body itself as a headlight lens, and then it has buckets behind it that you could add LED lights to. Side mirrors, and you see these couple little screws sticking out of the hood and the side, and that's just part of the body mount system, and it's pretty well hidden, much better than the body clips. There's the little roof antenna on the back, clear windows, that is key for a lot of people. Slightly tinted, blacked out bed, and then the tail lights, you could add LEDs to those as well. This is a licensed body from Toyota TRD Pro. And yeah, that's just absolutely killer. Let's pop this off. There's just 4 body clips that go underneath. Now, my only concern about this is, when you roll it over, these body posts are your standard body posts with a bunch of holes in it. So I'm wondering if this is just gonna flex a lot and possibly break at where those holes are. So, this is actually more of a scale truck, so I wouldn't go bashing this thing, launching it off of huge jumps, landing on the roof, but maybe try to stick to more scale type of fun. Now, let's take a closer look at this chassis. Again, this is the KB10, which is similar to the one on the Mad Wagon that we've seen before. That's more of a stunt style truck, where this is more of a scale off-road basher. And what's nice about this chassis is it is aluminum plate, and the front and rear sections are a little bit lower. That gives you some more ground clearance in the center, which is good for having a lot of fun in your backyard, dirt lots and such. But what I like particularly about this chassis is it's a bit longer than the Mad Wagon, so you're gonna get that stability. I like the tall side plates. It helps keep rocks out, although if you do get rocks and debris in, sometimes they get trapped in here. You can see the top brace is a molded composite structure here. Lots of cross bracing and webbing throughout just to make it a really solid platform. The battery stands up on its side. You could do a 2 or 3S pack in here, probably only like a 5,000 milliamp. And then it's got your adjustable Velcro straps to secure it. A radio box over here for the receiver. Servo setup is pretty simple. There's some top bracing for the steering cranks, which is an aluminum plate. I liked seeing that. Dual bell crank steering, by the way. So really solid looking chassis structure here. Front bumper, which is also part of your body mount. They have these tall posts with the foam pads to help support that body, again, when you're rolling this thing over, because it's gonna happen. So at least we got a lot of support. Then getting into the shock towers, those are composite as well, and we'll get into the suspension. So they have oil-filled shocks front and rear, and just kind of looking over the shocks on this, they appear the same as the Mad Wagon, but they did change out the rear springs on it. Probably handles a bit different with the longer wheelbase, but these have some pack to it. So when you're landing off of jumps, I don't think it's gonna bounce as much. We'll obviously see when we go out and test it, but the suspension feels like it's set up right from the factory. There's a shorter arm front and rear on this than the Mad Wagon. That has a wider stance to it. Again, this is more scale-like. Seems like a really rigid arm going out to caster blocks and steering knuckles. One difference on this truck too is the steering knuckle has aluminum capture plates for the steering tie rods. And those tie rods are actually adjustable, and there's adjustable upper camber rods on this as well. So if you want to do a little bit of tuning, you could. Not too many people are really looking for that in a basher. I like it that it has the steel hinge pin plates in there for some added protection. Nice bulky hubs in the rear. Really good stuff from Kyosho. Now let's get into the drivetrain. And it's got a 3 differential setup in it, which is really cool. Front, center, and rear. And inside those differentials, you got 4 metal gears, metal ring and pinion, of course. The spur gear is composite, but everything's all sealed up. So you're not gonna get any rocks inside your pinion and spur area, not in the front and rear gear cases. There's metal shafts in the center to distribute power to the front and rear diffs. And then they've got telescoping drive shafts out to the wheels from the front and rear differentials. Now the electronics, it's their perfect setup. They've got a 9 kg servo, Torx 10L mile sensorless motor, which is a 2850 kV. And then their Brains 10 speed controller, 80 amp speed controller, water resistant. It's got a cooling fan on top. It's fitted with a single Dean's connector because you're just gonna run a 2 or 3S battery pack in it. They also give you the Synchro radio system on it. I love the way that radio feels. A little bag of spare parts and instruction manual, of course. Now we just have to find the right spot to test it, and I have a place in mind. Well guys, I decided the Sandlot is the best spot for the TRD, and this thing rips. Look at that. That's on 3S. I think it's got some serious speed to it. And some body chatter too, a little bit of body scrub with the tires. But man, that thing rips. Blast it through this dirt here. Yeah, I got a little error. Come back around. A little air off that. There's my kids in the background, they're exploring. All right, now we'll get some big air off this little ledge here. Boom! Just blasted through the dirt. That was cool. Not taking it easy on it. It was, you know, a little rough because the body is so nice. But I think, you know, this car's kind of begging to be driven hard. Yeah. Probably get some more air off of this right here. Yeah. The thing jumps really nice. It's got some good steering. I mean, considering this is some really loose sand. Oh, ow. One thing I noticed, because of the roundness of the body, it like always lands on the wheels, or I could correct it. And the battery's done. Oh man, I had way too much fun with this truck. I gotta get another pack. Time to speed test the Toyota. Whoa, that's a handful to drive. That's got some serious suspension trouble, but it's moving. Let's see what we hit on that gnarly run. Stop, read, 42. So this truck surprised me a bit. I thought it was just gonna be a scale looker, but it actually held up to the abuse that I put it through in the Sandlot. The body, it looks good still. I mean, I thought I was gonna smash up the front. I thought I was gonna break body posts on it, but everything seems to be fine. There's just one little spot in the rear that the Lexan is crinkled, and you know, we've got some scratches and stuff like that, but the body held up on it. And I think the truck was a lot of fun overall. So I speed tested it, went 41 miles an hour, which was pretty quick, but it was a handful to drive on the asphalt. It kind of sways a little bit, and you know, you get that worry of if it sways too much, it's gonna roll over on you. But I managed to keep it on all four wheels. I wanna let you guys know though, it probably is gonna be an intense crash if you do roll it on asphalt. Probably really scratch up the body then. But in the sand, a lot of fun to just roost the dirt. I mean, I think this truck is really going to appeal to those that are into Tacomas. I mean, it's not an all-out basher truck in my opinion. It handled pretty well, It's just pretty low to the ground. There's not a ton of suspension travel to it, so I think it's really gonna be fun in dirt lots and stuff. Really small jumps, but your big air stuff, this isn't the truck for you. Again, it just doesn't have the suspension travel for it. It's a bit of a handful to drive on 3S. 2S is probably gonna be much easier, obviously, but on 3S, it just starts to sway on you, and that's a bit because of the long wheelbase and narrow width. But I think out of like the Tacomas that are out there, there's not really many. There's a bunch of crawlers. If you want something a bit more fast and fun, this is definitely gonna fit the bill. So yeah, if you don't mind a general fun truck, this is definitely one to check out. I'll have links for it in the video description below.